Hello, hockey fans. We are still 4 days away from the start of this year's Stanley Cup final, but I am here to do one last postmortem in this year's Stanley Cup playoffs. Similar to the last two, where I talked about the 8 teams who lost in round one and the 4 teams who lost the second round, this is about the conference runners up, the 2 teams who were eliminated in this year's Final Four, the conference finals. And these are my last, and the links that will be shown are my two what went wrong stories about these 2 teams, the last ones of this year's playoffs, because I do not write about teams who lose in the final. But yeah, so the links will be featured. Check them out when you can. So here we go. A post-mortem, if you will, for this year's conference runners-up. I think it's really time that we stop believing in the Hurricanes every year. I think it is. I've been hesitating onto whether to say their chances were done, that their window was closed. I've been thinking about it because 2 years ago I said this was their best chance and they blew it, but I still refuse to say the window's closed. Then last year, they go backwards. They lose in round two to a Rangers team that almost swept them. Of course, they won games 4 and 5 to make it look good, but they still lost game 6. Even then, I didn't want to say it's closed. I said it was closing, meaning they still have a shot. Now, the window is not only shut, it's padlocked shut. They can forget it. They can really forget it. Last year, even though the rematch from 2 years ago went just a tad longer than the original series, the original series was closer. The 2023 meeting between Carolina and Florida, all one-goal games and a lot of overtime. This was a mess. This was a blowout from beginning to end. The only difference is Carolina finally pulled off the miracle of winning the conference final game. They can hang that banner as they again search for answers. Some Canes fans are actually saying Rod Brind'Amour should be let go. It might be time to do that. I mean, how long has he been there? He's been there doing this whole streak, which started back in 2019. And this year was their third time under Brind'Amour with this group that they went to the conference final, but nothing. The Final Four is still a dead end for them. Yes, they finally won a game for the first time in almost 19 years, but they just can't get through the hump. They can't get through the Final Four. And like I said, like 2 years ago, this was their best chance. Now what do? Be glad they finally won a game. Be glad they shipped off Rantanen. This is not the time for more victories. Not when you're 7 years in and nothing is happening. Something needs to be done. Maybe some players need to go. Maybe Rod Brind'Amour needs to be fired. But they need to do a hell of a lot to open that window up. Because right now, like I said, it's closed. It really is. I could leave it at that. But I want to say so much more about this. Karma is, but not as big as your coach, Dallas. Seriously. You had to have seen this coming. For one, you can't win games that are fairly officiated, number one. Number two, for some reason, you can't beat Edmonton. It is not hard to beat Edmonton. I wouldn't know about losing Edmonton because I'm an Avs fan. We own Edmonton. But it just amazes me. It amazes me how Dallas can just mess up. Their entire existence, at least in the last few years, is tormented my Avs and needing the refs to help them beat us. That's pretty much it. Other than that, they don't care, and it definitely showed in this series. This is what the refs scheme to help them get Robo and Heiskanen back, and this is what Dallas schemed to get Mikko Rantanen for. Another third-round exit, one less game than last year, and again, it's the Oilers. Dallas, all this time I thought, well, I see the Mavericks and the Cowboys are so incompetent and getting in their own way, but that trait doesn't hit Dallas. I was wrong. It has. I mean, how do you not beat Edmonton? But there's so much I can point at. Number one, Mikko Ranson going missing for 8 games. No goals in the last 8 games of his season. But the biggest one I really want to harp on is that egghead, arrogant coach of theirs. Peter DeBoer is a jackass. I can't stand him. Never mind the fact that he bullies the refs into sabotaging my abs. Never mind that. It's the fact that he thinks he knows everything, but is a complete idiot. And he wonders why he can't win. And we saw his latest insult in the last game. He pulls Ottinger after giving up 2 goals and 2 shots, which can happen to any goalie. He pulls him after 7 minutes, puts it to Smith, and a minute in, it's 3-0. And poor Otter's watching, going, I could do that. I mean, literally everybody got on DeBoer for this. Even worse, he doubled down on this. Well, Ottinger's lost 6 or 7 in Edmonton, and he gave up 2, so it all piles up. Oh boy. So yeah, it's Ottinger's fault. Never mind the fact that the guy you traded for hasn't found a net in 8 games, or the guy that the refs helped you get back hasn't scored many points. It's the goalie's fault. Yeah, sure. The same goalie who had to stand on his head 3 years ago, get 60-something games, but they still lost because Dallas couldn't piece 2 shots together. On a serious note regarding that game, I still remember that game so emotionally because it was Gaudreau who won it for Calgary. So yeah, it was an amazing moment. But anyway, back to burying Dallas. But anyway, DeBoer, they need to fire him. They really do. I'm kind of semi-certain about Carolina needing to fire Brind'Amour, but regarding DeBoer, Dallas needs to give him his pink slip and tell him to get to step it. He is a complete buffoon. All he has going for him is bribing the refs to beat the Avs and winning those Game 7s. Other than that, he has nothing else. He has so many third-round exits. It's ridiculous. This is his 3rd straight as head coach in Dallas, and ironically, I think he was coaching Vegas in the bubble when they lost in round 3 to Dallas. I mean, he needs to be fired. He needs to be fired. He's the NHL equivalent of Brandon Stanley. Thinks he knows everything, really knows nothing, and wonders why he can't win. My goodness, like I said, karma. It's hitting him, and it's hitting the Dallas Stars. Maybe if DeBoer gets fired, maybe Avs and Stars games will actually be fairly officiated. Just a thought. So that is my postmortem for Carolina and Dallas, the 2 teams who were eliminated in round numero 3. And I'm ready for the Stanley Cup Final, but that's still days from now. The Cup Final starts on Wednesday, and it's the rematch. It's going to be epic. So, that's my video. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe. More. If you're on TikTok and Instagram, feel free to hit that follow button. And you saw the links. You saw the 2 links to my stories about Carolina and Dallas. Check them out when you can. And the next time I talk hockey here will be a preview of the Cup Final coming up between now and Puck Drop Wednesday. So stay tuned for that.